keep them out. Rurik again, the target, and take it towards touch, but Robert did well, and Lazar leading the way.
I'm here. I'm Kevin Ferguson, the money man. I'm here with Zellum Nell, the better-looking duo out of Keo and Zells. Thanks, Zells, for coming in to see me again. I can't get a hold of Keo.
Really? He's
Yeah.
he's famous now, mate.
Yeah.
He's famous. This show, he's on another. I think he's going to be on like talk show. If Jay Leno was around, he'd probably be giving Keo a call.
Yeah. I agree. Quite the fella. So I got a question. Any problems between me and Mark? None whatsoever. Mark's just famous and I'm not. So that's the way it goes. We got a huge game this weekend. Sharks showing up at the Bulls territory.
Yep.
And let's chat about that because to me that's a trial game for the Boks.
Huge trial game.
Don't you think?
Huge trial game. I think there's going to be blood on the dance floor for sure. I see everybody's been. They've named the Springbok squad. A bunch of the guys are involved. But I think definitely hammer and tongs this week. Expect no holds barred, and I think we're in for a cracking game.
I'm looking at this game and I'm seeing the physicality of the Bulls.
Yeah.
Versus supposedly the fluidity of the Sharks. And it's a tough game to call. I mean, if it wasn't tough, everybody'd be millionaires and everybody would just be sitting back and in plusher offices than we have here.
Yeah.
So we're trying to break it down and decide. I know who I think is going to win. Deep Seek, I've checked it out, knows who's going to win. Though they did get last week's one prediction wrong. They had 24-16 Munster.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, 24 points. That wasn't a bad shot.
They got the points right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it went down to a penalty shootout. So
It did. With Jaden Hendricks
yeah,
faking that whatever.
I loved that.
You loved it,
Oh,
eh?
I loved it, mate. Love that stuff.
Yeah, I was watching it with a friend of mine who was just like, who saw it unfold and was like, what a puss, whatever that means. But seriously, it's like it wasn't good sportsmanship,
I think it was fantastic. I think he did cramp up, but I think he also milked it. I think he got very much under Crowley's skin, and
Didn't he wink?
it was lovely to watch.
Didn't he give a
man.
wink?
I love that. That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the Hendricks brothers, yeah?
Very big fan of those guys. I love that. I think that's a big part of sport, right? That's what makes real sport different to PlayStation sport is the psychology.
Yeah, of course. And you would have him as your number 9.
I love that guy. Definitely.
Tell me why. I mean, I have to agree with Mark. He's a bit ponderous. Is he with the wrong team?
That's what I say. I think Jaden's got a great skill set, and
Yeah.
I think he brings the intangibles that I've mentioned. I think maybe the Sharks are not a great fit for him, or at least the way the Sharks are playing right
yeah,
now.
but you look at the attacking options of the Sharks. They're not short of attacking options, are they?
No.
I mean, you've got Esterhazen,
Tons of guys.
you've got Am, you've got Fikiri Fassi. It's not and who's the other guy that scored this weekend?
Ethan Hooker,
I don't know what.
Makazole Mapipi.
No, the guy that scored for the Sharks.
Yeah, Ethan Hooker.
Yeah.
Well, they got tons of talent. It's not so much about a lack of talent when I say he's at the wrong team. I'm talking about the way that they play.
Yeah.
So if you, I don't know, in American football, I suppose that's something we can chat about. If you're a pocket passer like Tom Brady, but they want you to be Michael Vick, you're with the wrong team, right? Because you can't move. So I suppose with Jaden Hendricks, a game where it centers more around the 9.
Yeah.
And his tactical ability, his kicking game is more central to how they play, I think would definitely suit him better. And that's why I think a guy like Grant Williams is so effective for the Sharks because his speed to the breakdown, he's obviously stronger there than Jaden, and I think that adds massive value for the way the Sharks want to play. So, and also easier on the eyes, right? You don't have to be a connoisseur to recognize the speed of Grant Williams. Like, you just look at that guy go, he's like nano speed.
Yeah, but his delivery for me is just not there at times. And he slows the ball down. He never gets it out quick.
Yeah.
To me, if that's the best number 9 in the country, we may have some problems coming up against New Zealand and New Zealand. We'll hammer Australia. I don't believe that they'll cause much problems.
Yeah. The thing is with the 9 passing is he's got to pass it to somebody. He's not going to let that ball go if the guy that's the receiver isn't ready. And I think maybe that's got to do with that Shark structure. I think Jaden, I don't think it works to his skill set.
The one thing that I know doesn't work, because I played rugby, is I think the Bulls dominate from a physical point of view. What's your thoughts on that? Am I out of my? Am I out?
No. Look, they're a very physical team, maybe overtly physical. I think there's times where they try to break down the front door instead of just turning the knob and walking in. But
Yeah.
they are a very, very physical team. They're built on that. And if you can't stop the Bulls from getting over the gain line, they'll just go same side, and score tries against you and completely take over the game. And that's what they did against Leinster a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't think physicality is they're in short supply of that. I'm just not sure that the mix between what they're doing up front and what they're doing in the backs, from a full field perspective, is always compatible.
Well, you look at to me, last week's performances. I think the Bulls spotted them a 14-point lead and then came back. Whereas I thought the Sharks were very lucky in winning that game against Munster, and Munster were unlucky. What's your thoughts?
No, I totally agree with that, Kevin. And I think the Sharks and Bulls are both in that. You could paint them both with that brush. They've had this season of inconsistencies, red hot, ice cold, and I'm talking in the space of one half of rugby.
Yeah.
So there's not that sort of like power running game. This is what these guys bring, and they're consistently delivering. You're like, okay, I know what these guys are about, what they're trying to do. Who's going to be able to stop them?
So what is there in going out for the teams now that have been announced and the Springboks have been announced? What's in it for them rather than protecting themselves for the Springbok season?
Well, I think Rusty's a guy who is very much got his finger on the pulse of every action. I think Rusty's a guy who reads body language, never mind your performances in a game. So he is watching these games and he wants to see performance. And I think there's a constant race, and that's the thing he's got right in the box squad is nobody's comfortable. You look at previous world championship teams, guys have been allowed to sit in a sort of comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they're protected and like, you've won a World Cup, so we're taking you to the next one. These guys all know their jobs are on the line all the time. You've got to consistently perform. And so you will be measured on your performances. And the only time you're playing is on a Saturday, and it happens to be this week. It's a Bulls-Sharks rivalry at Loftus Versfeld to get to a final. So
you like me must be salivating at the first scrum.
Literally, man. I mean, Wilco Lowe, mate.
Yeah.
He's the most exciting thing to happen in rugby for a long time. I just love it.
He's huge.
He's huge, he's powerful, and he can't be stopped. And everybody knows what's coming, and he does it anyway. He's a one-man scrum. For me, he's definitely been the URC player of the season. The fact that it's taken so long for him to get back into the Bok frame, I think is a pity. Is he a sort of ball handling skillful front row forward? No. But, I mean, he's a wrecking ball, and the scrum is central to success. So I'm very excited about him.
So you have a Bok-laden Shark team, Eben, Fassi,
Siakolisi, Lucanio,
Yeah, you've got all these guys. Eben, 100 minutes played. Only 100 minutes he's played all fucking year, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, that guy's also the real deal, right? Now, he's got nothing left to prove. I suppose the only thing he's got left to prove is that he can make it to 2027.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? How do you see this one playing out?
So I looked at the odds earlier this week. They've probably changed a bit.
Yeah.
They had the Bulls as 7.5-point favorites when I looked. Yeah, which I thought was a really big margin. I think this is going to be a nail biter.
Bulls 7.5 still today.
What?
You can get 7.5 points on the Sharks.
That's a no-brainer. I would put lots of money down on the Sharks covering that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I think that the Bulls might sneak it, but it's a coin toss.
Totally.
This isn't one of those things you sit down and think, I've cashed my money in, it's coming to me. This is an 80-minute struggle.
Totally.
And I think that the Bulls, their physicality, because no team does well when they're going backwards. And I think the Sharks will be going backwards on Saturday. I think that they lose by 3 or 4 points, but not 7.5. So I'm going to put 5,000 Rand down on the Bulls. And whoever wins, I'll give 1,000 Rand out to 5 people if that bet comes off.
Nice.
Because I'm getting back into the betting world in a
I love
big
it.
way. Yeah,
Great.
Why not?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it out of the marketing budget.
Editorial.
So I see 7.5, and I'm like, okay, $5,000 on the Sharks.
Cool.
Bulls aren't winning by 8 or more.
Nah, I can't see. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely if you ask me.
Yeah. So you're with me, and what do you think the final score is going to be? Because
So I picked the Sharks to win 23-22. I said it would be a 1 point, so I think it's going to be real close.
yeah,
I think the Bulls are going to get pretty tight around this thing, as much as they've been galvanized and unified by the passing of Cornell Hendricks. I think the Sharks have got a big game in them. They haven't clicked this season, and I think I think the youth of some of those guys coming through at the Sharks, the X
there's
factor.
no win to speak of.
I think they do it.
There's sunny all day, so it should make for a decent rugby
Front
game.
row forwards love it when it's hot.
Well, it's not hot. It's
Like you said, sunny.
It gets up to 19 degrees,
Cool.
so it's going to be cool.
Cool.
Perfect rugby conditions.
Nice.
As far as I'm concerned.
Cracker.
So what score do you have?
I got 23-22 for the Sharks.
Okay, I'm going 26-23 for the Bulls.
Good shout. So average score in that game has been 26-26 in 9 matches to date.
Yeah.
So
there you have it. If you're looking to make a bet, you got to take the 7.5 minus. You got to take the plus 7.5 plus 7.5 on the Sharks, and hope they don't lose by 8 or more points. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
spot on.
Yeah, and guys, message me for why you want the R1,000 if the Bulls win, and I'll look at it on Monday.
Beautiful.
Should be a cracker game.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
And what do you think about Leinster, Glasgow? I see what you mean about the chicken bone. You told me about Leinster and the chicken bone, and I'm like,
you get it.
yeah, I do. They don't seem invincible. Huh?
They don't seem convinced. I don't think they believe they are who people say they are.
Well, I think that one of the things for sure about it is that you're seeing a wane in Irish rugby.
Big time.
You know,
Big time.
which all fits into this tournament there, the British and Irish Lions going. He's going with a lot of Irish guys, a little bit old in the tooth and on the downside, the golden era of Irish rugby.
Over the hump.
Yeah, I think the golden era of Irish rugby is over.
I agree.
And it'll be a lot closer than I thought. If you're looking to play this tournament last year, you would have backed the British and Irish Lions. Now I'm not so sure who you back.
Yeah, I think Australia's on the up, and the British and Irish Lions, are, as is custom, will lack cohesion. So
Yeah.
I don't really know how you get around that. You know, in the old days, those guys would take a ship to wherever they were going to be playing. They'd have about 12 weeks on the boat to work on their skills and get to know each other.
Yeah.
Now they jet in with no cohesion,
Yeah.
and they play a bunch of games in a short space of time. They never really get a chance to find that cohesion. And this is in an era where the team they're playing against arguably has the most cohesion because the guys don't have day jobs. So this is what they do.
Exactly. So I agree with that, and we'll get into the British and Irish Lions as it comes closer. But what's your score? What do you think about Leinster, Glasgow? What's your thoughts?
I've got a hunch. If I was putting money on this thing, and again, like I think in this game, Leinster have been given 13.5 points when I checked, which I also think is a massive margin. So I would definitely take Glasgow to cover that spread.
Yeah.
Plus 13.5, I'd say
Let's
absolutely.
have a little squiz on the 13.5 again. It is. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I would definitely go with that. I think it's going to be closer than that. And to be honest, I have a feeling that Glasgow could win this thing because they've lost twice now against Leinster. The first time they got an absolute hammering, a 50-point. They didn't score a point. They were blanked. And the second time was a tight, I think it was a 13-5 or a 12-7 or something.
If you did a 2-team accumulator and plus 13.5, plus 7.5,
Yes,
you're going to get paid out 3.41.
this is the bet I would take.
That's the bet you take. Yeah.
That is the bet I would take. I think that's golden advice.
I can't fight with you on it.
That is golden
cannot
advice.
fight with you on it. You're a man of distinction.
You've taught me, Kev.
Well, I haven't taught you anything.
You told me about Dunford.
Dunsford, where I grew up. Oh my God, Google that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a feeling Glasgow will win this thing. I'm not convinced, but I've got a feeling Glasgow will win this thing and come to Durban to play the Sharks in the Kings Park final. Franco Smith, Henko Fenter comes back to Durban where he's played some rugby and plays against the Sharks in the final. I think that's where it's going.
And DeepSeek has it. DeepSeek, because we're in the world of AI.
DeepSeek says Leinster Bulls.
No, DeepSeek. I haven't asked it to do Leinster.
I think you
There's
should.
so many mistakes in trying to get this one. But they say the Bulls will win 26-22 for various reasons. I'm not getting into it, but they've made a decent prediction.
Okay.
So I'm 26-23. They're 26-22, and you are...
I'm saying 23-22 to the Sharks.
Okay. Well, so it's going to be a coin toss.
Totally.
Anyway, all three of us are within the 7.5. It's a good bet. And that's all we do is we teach people how to make good bets.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Kev.
Great seeing you.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks, Sam.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
And they keep them out. Rugby again, the target. Take it towards touch, but Robert did well. And there's our